Good evening, everyone. I hope you can hear me. Apologies for the slight delay. Um, as mentioned, arrived a little bit later and had a couple of things to take care of, but I think we should be good to go. Evening, Ian. Evening, Brian. Alex. Alf, message retracted. I hope it wasn't anything rude. Mr. Campbell, Tato. I hope you're all good. Hope you're all good. Let me bring up the main screen. One evening, Scott. Scott was here early. Ronaldo, good evening, Super League indeed. A couple of new friendly faces or names in the chat. Good to see, good to see. Hope the sound level is okay. Hope you can see everything just fine. We have a bunch of interesting games coming up this evening. Hackers against Foss Road, Los Santos taking on Northern Burn, Sancta against Exile, Sloth versus Dudley Staggington against East Coast Stanley Badgers and Vikings Fulchester. I'm well, thank you, Alex. Now that everything is back under control. Turns out I hadn't lost my phone. I just temporarily misplaced it. Two very, very different things. So, so no problems there. Um, right, let's see what we've got here in front of us. We have got a league table as well. Let's have a look at that. Obviously, some big results last time out. We can maybe have a look at them quickly first. There was that 3-2 win for Sancta in that super dramatic game away at Foss Road. Another dramatic end to the game, Northern Burn against Haggis. It was highly exciting. At least some of the games. There were a few less less interesting ones, but lots of stuff to play for everyone. And of course, looking at the fixtures now, fifth versus sixth is always going to be a big game at this part of the season. Northern Burn are looking to cement the first spot, first and second, of course, being so super important in terms of the playoffs. Very, very rare, if ever, have we seen a team come from outside of the top two. Um, to actually win it. Tough away games. Uh, Tough away games for Exiles, for Dudley, for East Coast. Against some of the teams at the bottom of the table who are trying to at least make a good impression here towards the end. And super exciting game with Stanley against the Badgers, 10th versus 8th, and again with Vikings and Colchester. Um, no one wants to draw in those games. No one definitely wants to lose. So it should be all about the 3 points in those ones. But let's start at the top. I see that Mr. Campbell certainly is or was here. Smuts is definitely here, and he says if he could be early, that would be appreciated. So let's do that. Let's make him happy um, as he gears up for the. Do you need to go to bed early or something? Are you collecting sleep hours for your Smutsathon later on? I don't think we've advertised that quite yet, but I believe it's this weekend. You're doing your annual 24-hour stream for child loss awareness. Correct me if I'm wrong. The charity related to the uh, the unfortunate loss of children under various circumstances. So if anyone wants to watch Smuts play Fortnite, I can't imagine why. At least it's for a good cause. At least it's for a good cause, if nothing else. Um, then of course feel free to encourage him or join in on the stream and watch what's going on. Doesn't feel like my sort of my thing Fortnite, but who knows? I can maybe be persuaded. I'll try and have a look. Um, Anyway, indeed, fifth to tenth all playing each other. Very important to get 3 points, as mentioned. Scott is here, Los Santos. He will be looking for 3 points against Northern Burn as he continues to rebuild. Either way, already a little bit late and already waffling. So let's have a look at first of all Haggis, the home side. Um, Last match out was, of course, the game against Northern Burn. I believe Fico is playing out on the wing again. Guillaume comes up from the reserves and starts, so that's going to be interesting how to see how that goes. Apart from that, it's familiar faces for Haggis. Nothing too interesting or nothing too surprising here. The new era is the tactic has been called for a while. We'll see. They're of course hanging on in fifth, so good luck to Haggis this evening. Big result for them last time out. They got that draw at Northern Burn. They'll be looking for all 3 points here against a not really in form Boss Road. Unicorns line up like this. Hofland and Turam at the back. Van der Vaart, captain at the left side of the defensive midfield trio there with Jakubo and Gerard. Sambrota, Verong, and Ortega. Muslimovic behind Crespo. That's how they line up this evening. I hope I got this right. I have reloaded the tactic as well to get rid of the star. Or the asterisk, I believe it is. So everything should be hopefully be okay. As usual, if you spot anything that's wrong with your setup, with the lineup, with anything, then give me a shout in the comments, and I will try and correct it before the game. I have gone through them all, so they should be okay, apart from Mike's substitutes, but we'll get to that when we get to Stanley a little bit later on this evening. Alex is the set piece taker. I should probably just go in and remove that. I'm not sure if he's been playing for a while, but either way, we start this one. It's Haggis against Boss Road. Um, Let's see if EM. Oh, that's an early injury for Figo. Ian, if you're here, those are your options. Um, Perez, please. We will do that. Straight swap, presumably. I see Brian's asking if Paul is on last. As I recall, Paul is playing Colchester, and Dan is not able to make it, so you can be on at any time. Let me know in the comments if you want to be on late or early, if you are indeed playing Colchester. I think so. Quick substitution for Hack is there. Perez comes on for the injured Figo. Um, let's see how that impacts them. Obviously, a brand new arrival Figo. Hopefully for the manager, it's not too long that he's going to be out. Plenty of action in the first 20 minutes, but no one able to find the back of the net. But there comes Kalashak with the opener. I believe it was Senden with the assist. Good start for Haggis here as they look to collect 3 points. Guillaume only sporadically been involved. Perhaps not the debut he was hoping for now that he's been given the chance. But is Haggis are in control. You would have to say 11 shots, 3 on target. Foss Road with 1-on-1. Definitely not what the manager would have been looking for. Let's have a look at Foss Road. It's Yakubu who's on a 5. Everyone else on 6s. There's a 7 for Sambrota. That's the only kind of like right thing that's happened for them. One key completed pass and 1 shot on target for Muslimovic as well. Fitness wise, you're doing all fine, so I will let you consider that Smuts if you want to make any changes. Meanwhile, down to the Haggis end, Palashak's on a 7. It was indeed Budvin Senden who had the assist. He's on an 8. Apart from that, everyone is doing okay. Figo is on 62, so probably not the worst in terms of injuries. Smuts goes assist till 60. And Ian, if you want to make any changes, then now is a good time to do that. Okay, to 60 as well. Well, we continue on then. See if we can stop this at 60. Decent start for Foss Road. A couple of chances there. Veron had a shot. Here comes Crespo. Jeremies picks up a yellow. Lilian Thuram is involved here. It's been all Foss Road here at the beginning of the second half, or it looks as if it had been all Foss Road. Haggis haven't had any chances. Foss Road, it looked as if they had a little bit more than that. The numbers are the same. Yakubu still on a 5. Hofland is up on a 7 now as well. So those are your number smuts. If you want to make any changes, presume so. Presume so. Rocket Santa Cruz, Alex, obviously, 2 players that can be brought in that might change something. And tactically, who knows? I will let you consider. And meanwhile, we'll go and have a look at Haggis, where everything is hunky dory. Fabio Cannavaro's on a 9, everyone else on 8s and 7s mostly. Yeah, and no real fitness concerns either. I believe Guillermo on 85 is probably the lowest, but overall looking pretty solid for the Haggis boys. We'll go back to the Ian, of course, you can let me know as well if you want to make any changes. But Kluivert for Guilherme. Okay, well, you get an hour, and that's it. And that's it. Meanwhile, I'll see if Smuts wants to do anything. El Guerrero for El Cuckoo. We can do that. Alex for Slatan. Arrow on AMC. There we go. There we go. Set piece taker Alex back on the pitch. We kick this one off. Half an hour to play. Can Foss Road find a way back into this? They had the better of the first 15 minutes of the first half. We're already up to 80 minutes, and they've not managed to find the back of the net just yet. 10 minutes coming up. We'll slow this one down as there's 8 minutes to go. What a goal that was from Shax, or could have been from Shax. Apologies. Didn't actually score. 4 minutes left to play. Here comes Sambrota Jermis with a great sliding tackle. He's on a yellow, so he needs to be careful there. Just 5 minutes left to play, including the added time. Ortega scrambles it away. Pires loses his man with a volley. Nick Matulin picks up the ball. Good save from him. Here comes Kluivert going forward. Pires coming forward. Pires again, and another wonderful save by Nick Matulin, who's been keeping Foss Road in it here towards the end of the second half. Gerard now picks up a yellow card, as it has to be the last. And there is Veron with the equaliser. Would you believe it? His fifth goal of the season. Foss Road have pulled level, and that is it. Or is it? Petkov coming forward. Petkov to Van Nistelrooy. Here is Kluivert on mark, low and hard, but he sends it wide. It looked as if Haggis had at last chance to get the 3 points back, but they did not. Game smuts. Where did that message come before or after that wrong goal? Who knows? Completely undeserved. Well, it wasn't quite a champing if you look at the shot on target. It was in fact very, very even there. So big name Baron coming up with the goal just before the end there, and Kluivert missing a golden opportunity to snatch the 3 points back for Haggis. Maybe if Guillaume had been left on, he would have taken that. We will never find out. Um, Foss Road stats. They didn't play well. Let's be honest. They didn't play well. Nick Matulin keeping the guys in it. Um, and Veron going solo, getting the goal there. Nice to be on the other side. Indeed, indeed, indeed. Uh, Haggis have caught the late goalitis of the sloths. Perhaps there's eights and nines here. There's certainly a better performance. Cannavaro, overall better team performance in there, but failure to hit the target. Kalashak, the main culprit there with 3 shots off target, along with Petkov. Yeah, that could obviously have gone better, and definitely not what the manager needed at this point of the season. Haggis not able to pick up all 3 points there. It finishes 1-1. Even in Mike, even in Dimble, offers for every player considered. Yeah, well, that's that's how it is. That's how it is. Right, away you go, Smarts, to do some Fortnite practice. Good luck with it, and good luck with the stream. I'll remind everyone again about the good course that it's in aid of, that you're suffering, which I'm sure we all appreciate, both a good case and your suffering. Let's go on with let's have a look and see what else we had. We had Vikings against Colchester. I remember that. I looked at your ratings and I mentioned them. They were all nines. I know, I know. Paul is here, Dan is not, but we can crack on with Vikings against Colchester. I have had some instructions from Dan, so we should be fine. So let's go with the Vikings. I believe Palermo for Hershey was a change, perhaps the only one, um, as the Vikings look to reignite their season that had gone off to a very, very slow start, started to pick up, and then um, has slowed down a little bit in the last 3 games. Only picked up the 1 point, which was against Northern Burn. They're now at home to Fulchester, and hopefully for them, they'll be able to pick up 3 points here. Fulchester have themselves had a bit of an up and down season, but we'll see what the Vikings can do with Palermo starting. Over at Fulchester, very limited in terms of changes from memory. But let me just double check the message from Dan that I should have here. Let's see, what did Dan say? Dan says, indeed, Dan was as is, so unchanged from the last game. and they are sitting in seventh, chasing that spot. So it will be, of course, uh, pretty convenient for them to pick up all 3 points. But let's see how it goes as we look at Vikings against Colchester. CC Roberts not involved, not involved. First half about to kick off. Vikings against Colchester. Solid start there for both sides who've had a shot or two on target. Del Vecchio comes up with spray with a save. Del Vecchio finds the back of the net, but the goal is ruled out for offside. But they have had definitely the better of the first 15, 20 minutes, up to half an hour now. And for the Sadov comes forward, and there is Beckham open the scoring for the visitors. Um, Such an iconic name in the Super League, not necessarily for the for for his performances, but certainly for the love that managers have showed him throughout the seasons. We reach halftime and it's Fulchester 1, Vikings nil. Vikings without a single shot on target apart from that disallowed goal from Del Vecchio. That's got to be pretty disappointing for the manager to see. I will have a look at the Fulchester instructions first. No subs unless keepers on a 5. Okay, well that's not happening. So no changes for Colchester, no injuries either. Vikings meanwhile, Sorocinski struggling. Thierry Henry is on a 7. Everyone else is on 6s. We'll just have a quick look at this screen so you can see who's involved in terms of the passes, etc. Yeah, Del Vecchio um, had the ball at the back of the net, but ruled out for offside. So that's why he's on a 6. Not done the best in terms of passing either. Um, in terms of condition, Simeone is down on 80, probably carrying a small injury at the moment, potential foot injury indeed. So that's something to obviously reflect on. But if you want to make any changes here at halftime, Paul, then please let me know. If not, we will carry on until 60, as there are no changes from Colchester. Tomasi for Samuel. Transfer dealings already ongoing in the chat. Sorochinski on for Hersey, Hersey into MC. We will do that for you. Sorochinski on for Hersey, Hersey into MC. Presume like this. Palermo up top as well. Presume this. Vikings going for it here. Good to see already at halftime changes are being made. Manager not happy with 0 shots on target. An arrow on Del Vecchio as predicted, indeed. Perfect. Excellent. Let's run this till 60 and see if Viking can hit back. How can you hate Tomasi? He's a good socialist, isn't he? Is he not famous for his Song Yong Hook with his second for Fulchester? Not what the home manager wanted to see. This is more like it for him. Apologies for that. That was only on 57, 54 minutes. We'll run it a little bit longer up till 60. Palermo pulled one back. Now we're at 65. We'll stop it here. Um, Again, quickly check Fulchester stats. There are no 5s, so there are no subs to be made. They will carry on. No politics, please. Indeed, no politics. I keep forgetting that somehow. Simone down to 76% fitness now. These are your stats. These are your ratings, Paul. I will just quickly flash that up. Simeone on 76. These are your ratings. Alf predicts a late. Arrows on Aymar and Hersey. Manager definitely going for it. Not taking this line down. Um, Volodenko and Kufre, maybe not the best attacking options. Although Volodenko, he's only at a 6. Where is he? Yeah, he played very very well at Stackington and Dudley, but he's not really been used at the Vikings yet. But I guess Cafu and Baumer are difficult ones to dislodge from their positions. So I guess that arrows on Ima and Hersey are where we're gonna leave it for now. We kick this one off. 24 minutes to play. Zanetti with the goal for Fulchester. They cannot stop scoring away from home at the moment. Not entirely sure where that's coming from, but it's Mato and Palermo with this second for the Vikings. This one is far from over. Vikings continue to challenge, but it's Zanetti to Sato, Pizarro to Beckham, passing around. Then Nielsen trying, goal kick to Vikings. Can they come up the other end quickly enough? Find that equalizer. They're certainly pushing for it. Free kick to Vikings. There is Aymar, deflects off the wall or something. Free kicks rarely go in, do they? John Terry, who I believe is a recent addition as well to the starting lineup, getting involved here. Sanetti has been all over the park for Colchester today, throwing in crosses from here, there, and everywhere. I believe he got an assist and he's on the score sheet as well. De Nielsen is coming forward. Here's Sanetti, and it's the second for Sanetti. Shock result, certainly in terms of the amount of goals scored. Four for Colchester, away to Vikings, who are desperately trying to pull one back, but it's not to be. It finishes 2-4. Vikings were needing goals. They found two of them, Palermo with the brace for them, but it's Colchester scoring 4 goals away from home while the manager's absent, looking after his family. Um, and yeah, goalkeeping performance from the Vikings. Kiotis, who's done well so far this season, maybe not having the best evening so far. 5 and 6 in terms of shots on target. Obviously, Colchester making the absolute most of that. Quite enjoyed that. Well, at least it was action packed. Zanetti with an assist and 2 goals, unsurprisingly getting the man of the match. Beckham with an assist and a goal, only getting an 8 somehow. Danielson with an assist on a 9. Very, very interesting to see him finally getting numbers in the Super League. He's had a good season at 6 goal contributions he's managed so far. We're looking over at the Viking side of things. Apart from Sorocinski, it wasn't too bad. Del Vecchio and Simeone struggled a little bit to make contribution. Everyone else doing pretty well. Kiotis, of course, on a 6. That's a lot of shots letting in. He's let in there, and Hersey came on and didn't really do a great amount. But the manager's going to be happy with Palermo at least getting a couple of goals, and Jean Henry and Baumer with the assists. So a great game, that great one for the neutrals. 4-2 winners. Fulchester manager will be very pleased to watch that one back later. Good, 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 good. I've not seen Steve. Have we seen Steve? Is Steve here? We've got a suggestion of sloths against Dudley, but I'm not sure if Steve is around. Failing that, we can obviously. I see Ian is here. I believe we have a Northern Burn game. Then could we go for Northern Burn as against Los Santos? Scott is here as well, so we'll do Northern Burn, and then we'll see who else turns up. This is what Northern Burn are looking like this evening. Uh, I think there was one change. I believe Josh Drostov comes in for Vieira, I believe was a change for Northern Burn. This is how they line up. Yuri Drostov, we've not seen much of him so far. Solid right hand column, good positioning, and great determination. 20 aggression. We'll see how that works out for him. He has played before, 6 games last season, did well, and 2 games the season before, and did well as well. So yeah, could be a good little sort of, I won't say surprise substitute. He's obviously known, but not one of the regulars for sure. We'll see how he does tonight. They're away to Los Santos, where things are happening at Los Santos. Let's first have a look at the squad. New tactic for them. Scott has made a couple of changes as well. Debsky now alone behind Anelka. Nedved and Guerrero are down in midfield next to Ferguson. They were further up before from memory. And yeah, that's sort of the main part of it. He's obviously looking to get Anelka in amongst the goals as quickly as possible. That's going to be quite important for him. Diego Tristan, another. He looks as if he should be a proven goal scorer, but I believe maybe his pace and his jumping is probably letting him down a little bit in the Super League. Strength as well, to be strong in the air up against all those super defenders is relatively important. However, let's kick this one off and see if Los Santos can do something against Northern Burn, who haven't been in the greatest of form recently. Of course, they had that late equalizer, brought it back against Hackett, but not in the greatest of form recently. Northern Burn. We shall have a look. It's Anelka early on, Guerrero getting involved as well. Anelka again, Ike Casillas saves that. He's been looking to impress right from the off. There's Anelka again, and Debsky involved as well. Be great to see him doing something. Drustov picks up a yellow card there, and there's Anelka was hammering on that door the whole first 25 minutes, and he's finally found the back of the net, opening the scoring. Los Santos take a 1-0 lead just over the halftime mark. There is Debsky. He should have scored. It has been all Los Santos so far, probably jinxed it for them now. Here comes Kuhl going forward, and there's Maldini dead involved as well, but it stays 1-0. Los Santos take that lead into halftime. Five shots, four on target. Northern Burn have really struggled, 1-1 for them. We have a look at the numbers. It's sevens at the back, sixes at the front for Northern Burn. They have got Joe Cole, Raul Temudo on the bench that they can bring on. Drostov, as mentioned, is on that yellow. Has been heavily involved. 16 for dirtiness. Watch out for yellow cards. He's already got one. So yeah, interesting to see if Ian makes any changes. Guessing he's gonna go as is and hope that things straighten themselves out in the first 15 of the second half. Meanwhile, over at Los Santos, a lot of success with this new tactic in the first 45. Nedved's on a 9. That's looking good. Debski's perhaps the the disappointing player here on a 6, considering everyone else is doing relatively well. Scott says as is. We'll see if Ian agrees, or if he throws caution to the wind and makes some spectacular tactical changes. I'll go back to Northern Burn just to see. As mentioned, it's been a while since they've had a great result. Northern Burn struggling of late, struggling not first to score and then to win. And Ian is going for it. Uncharacteristic of the Northern Burn manager. Changes are plenty at halftime. Uh, Rostov swap with Milevsky. Rostov off for Cole. Tamudo on for Morientes. Excellent. We go to 1 hour. It looks a little bit better for Northern Burn. They had at least a chance or two here in the beginning of the second half, but it stays at 1-0. It looked at I could have sworn. Oh, you can't see that yet, can you? I could have sworn they had a shot on target, but apparently not. Apparently not. Joe Cole and Temudo is still. Temudo's had a shot. He came up. Was it not 1-1? How's that a thing? One shot on goal. Huel has a shot. Temudo has a shot. I'm not sure. Anyway, you know the drill. That's how it is sometimes in champ, I guess. So yeah, uh, those are your options, Ian. You've still got John Welsh on the bench. You can of course make tactical changes or put arrows on if you want, but it stays at 1-0 for now. Scott says as is, please. Debski's on a 6. Kutuzov, Tristan, Biscan are on the bench, but manager is not changing a winning team midway through the match, so he rolls on. We will see if Mr. Edwards wants to do anything. Could top spot in the league be up for grabs soon if fortunes don't change for Northern Burn? That's the big question on everyone's lips this evening. Welsh on for Emerton. Did that do anything? No, it didn't. We try again. There's Welsh on for Emerton. Excellent. We'll roll until the end. Let's see how it goes. Northern Burn desperately looking to get back into this one. It looks as if Los Santos have had the more. Oh my goodness, and all 3 substitutes are out. What are we going to do here? That's a big question. Maybe Brosek down to that right back, or centralize Milevsky and Dede maybe and go for the pencil or the Christmas cracker or whatever it would be. I'm guessing Brosek down there and Riquelme central, but let's see what Ian says. What would you do, fellow managers? Any suggestions? Want to help out the 4-star Northern Burn manager with some valuable suggestions? It's only a blip, says Mike. Perhaps, perhaps. Ika Casillas on a 9, though. That's a positive for this one. Move Cole back? Could Cole play a wing back and Kuhl centralized? Who knows? I mean, there's 17 minutes still to play. It's not as if we're just going to throw this one away. Move Kuhl to right center and Cole for me. All out attack. Two, 2-1-5. A 2-1-5 formation it could be as well. Yeah, let's see what Ian says. Oh, I knew there was something good coming here. Brosek to MR. Oh, that's genius. Brosek to MR. Dede to ML. Riquelme central with arrows. Arrows on both MCs. That is all. I mean, of course, this is what you do. I don't know why anyone else. Why did you? Your all your other rubbish. Uh, yeah, I guess that arrows on wingers. All your other rubbish suggestions. Let's see. Let's roll until the end and see if Nolan Byrne can find a way back into this. Here come the wingers with the arrows, Dede, and usually concede with all-out attack like England. I thought I had monopoly on England bashing here. Maybe Campbell. Oh my goodness. Time flew past. I didn't even notice what happened, but that was the end of the game. Um, yeah, commiserations to Northern Byrne. That was terrible. That was terrible. No chances, injuries, underperforming players. I say that they're all on sevens, not the worst, but yeah, manager's not going to be happy with that at all. Casillas was on a 9. He somehow dropped to an 8 without Los Santos scoring. I don't know how that happened, but anyway. Meanwhile, Scott will be delighted with the tactic working, with Nedved getting an assist, with Sauri becoming man of the match, and Anelka scoring, keeping Nick happy. That is important. Nedved with a boss performance. Indeed, indeed, both ends. Yeah, 9 tackles, 9-1, 5 of them key. That's ridiculous. He's 31 years old. There's a good season or two left in him still for sure. Great game. If a little bit quick at the end there, Los Santos picks up that win 1-0 against Northern Byrne. Manager will be delighted. Home manager will be delighted. Suggestion for Stackington against East Coast. I have seen Dimble and Alex is definitely here, so I think we can run with this. East Coast as well with a new tactic. I think one on top compared to the normal two up top. I think that's the main the main change that we have. Yes, indeed, that is the main change that we have. And Reyes, Jose Reyes, a relatively new face brought up from the reserves, and he starts tonight behind Constantino, who leads the line for East Coast. Uh, Stacking ton. Limited changes, if I recall, for Alex. Dakur Fabo was, I think, the change that was made. I'm not entirely sure why, as Dakur is injured, but who am I? Who am I? Who am I to question the decisions made by the managers? That is, of course, entirely up to them. If they want to select partially injured players, then I will not stand in your way. Um, but yeah, these are the Stackington players. It has, of course, been I won't say plain sailing, but it has been good for Alex. The first three wins from four, just that defeat to Exiles, and in with a shout here, of course, against the East Coast before they take on the informed Colchester next time out. Um, Great. Let's kick this one off and see. He'll last 20 max. Oh, he's not playing. He's on the bench. Anyway, Stackington against East Coast. We kick this one off and see if Alex can continue his good run here. 4 wins from three, as mentioned, but East Coast have not been the worst as of late either. So a tough one here. Always tough to beat East Coast. I don't know if it's still the case, but they used to have the strongest defense in the league, perhaps. Excellent finish for Defoe. He had a brace last time out and he scored again. Don't think anyone saw that one coming. That Defoe was going to be the savior of Stackington. But but here we are. Everything happens in the Super League, especially as we get into these later rounds. Cypriot Waiter equalizes for East Coast. Less of a surprise to see him finding the back of the net. Not that I ever enjoy it, but I'm not entirely surprised. As mentioned, as we go into season 3, 4, 5, perhaps even 6, it'll be interesting, very, very interesting to see some of these young guys coming through. I think everyone will take great pleasure in seeing some of the younger players that they have developed, if indeed they have younger players. 1-1 at halftime. East Coast performances have been so-so from the two AMCs. They're both picking up sixes, and Mendes as well at the back there with the six. The assist fell to Ian Robin, unsurprisingly. He's going to absolutely dominate the league on that left-hand side in the next couple of seasons. Very very valuable player for East Coast. There we will see if Dimble does anything at halftime. Presume not. He says assist, so I guessed right. Meanwhile, Buffon's on a six. Agahau is on a six as well. Everyone else is doing pretty well. It was Gustavo Lopez who got that assist for Jermaine Defoe. We'll have a look at Stackington here and see if Alex wants to do anything at all. Bringing on the slightly injured Olivier Dacour, perhaps. Out for 1 day with a twisted ankle. He'll live. We run till 60. That's a lot of action in the beginning of the second half here. A lot of shots, a lot of passes, a lot of involvements. There was even maybe a yellow card dished out there. And there comes Baronia. And here is Rivaldo, another player revitalized under Alex's management. Stackington take the lead 2-1. Deserved, I guess. There was Defoe again, very, very close to making it three. It's been much better from Stackington compared to East Coast here in the first 15 minutes of the second half. They take the lead and they have the momentum going in to the end. Did we pass the transfer deadline for season 16? Uh, no, no, there is no transfer deadline for season 16. Before the playoffs, I believe, or did I say week 20? I will have to double check. But either way, we haven't passed the transfer deadline. Whether it's one or the other, maybe week 20. Either way, this is 19. You're still fine to do transfers. Um, no, please, I have a busy weekend. Don't do any transfers. Uh, East Coast stats. We're on 60 minutes. It's still not looking great for the two AMCs, and Mendes is still on a sixth as well. Um, Ronaldinho on a six. That's never good news. He has Salas to come off the bench if he wants to do something here. Dimble, who's one of the players that could perhaps make a difference. DJ Agat maybe on the right hand side instead of Luke Chadwick, who has done okay. He's on a seven though. That's maybe something that the manager will consider. Reyes is down to 76 fitness though. That might be the one piece of information that makes the deal. Meanwhile, let's have a look at Stackington. It's a bunch of sevens, a couple of eights, and a nine for Rivaldo. Let's see here. In terms of fitness, you're doing okay. Gustavo Lopez on 80. He will probably live. You have got Slatan, of course, to come off the bench. Christian Burns as well, if you're worried about Alexander Voigt on that yellow. Baronio as well on a yellow. Both the Court and Burns could probably play in there. I will let you decide while I do the changes for East Coast. Uh, Salas for Reyes. Two up top. Ronnie Central with Arrow. Gattuso up to MC alongside Boa. Presume we do this one as well. And Agat for Chadwick. 23 for 27, two up top. Uh, okay, I'll see who they are once I get back. I presume this is right. Uh, 23 for 27. There we go. Two up top. Presume Ibrahimovic. Um, it must be. It can't be any. It can't be. It can't be. Be Agahara. Good. Last time, let's see. Both managers going for it, even though one is already winning. I'm not sure if I get that, but okay. I'm not going to complain. It looks as if Stackington are still doing a great job at creating chances and preventing East Coast from creating anything. Oh my goodness! It wasn't Gattuso who this was a headbutt. It's not a second yellow. That's a straight red. I don't think it makes any difference in Australia. I think it's one game ban anyway. But that's not gone well. That was a headbutt. It wasn't on the referee, so I think it was on Gattuso. So I don't think it will be that much of a harsh punishment. I presume like this, but happy to hear otherwise. Dabo with his knackered ankle ready to come on. Perhaps the cure for Ibrahimovic. where is he? Here, and then pursue like this. Yes, perfect. Small diagonal arrow on Boya, and that's it. We do that. Excellent. Last 10 minutes. Let's see. Oh, it's already on fast. Brilliant. Let's see if East Coast can find a way back into this. I've slowed it down. Let's have some action. Here comes Constantino clean into the strikes with fury, and he has found the equalizer. 2-2, 4 minutes of added time coming up. Painful scenario for Stackington to be in. It looked as if they're going to take all 3 points. Voigt completely lost his head. Headbutted Gattuso, I believe it was. Um, Indeed, Voigt headbutted Gattuso. Perfect. And that has ultimately cost them the 3 points, I think. East Coast stats are as such. It was Robin with the first assist. Lee Boyer with that diagonal arrow got the second one. Um, 10 out of the 11 tackles he's won. Great performance from him in central midfield. And meanwhile, over at Stackington, assists for Contra for Lopez, and goals for Rivaldo and Defoe. Rivaldo, man of the match. Um, uh, he's never had it easy. He did actually play well at East Coast. I was going to say that. I think he had some good games in the past. That was at East Coast actually. Now applying his trade at Stackington and doing pretty well under new management. So um, I won't say commiserations. Is that a bit harsh considering that it's only 2-2? But yeah, well done to Constantino for for getting that late equalizer, and well done to both managers for the tactical changes, especially that arrow on Lee Boyer that really seemed to do the trick for East Coast. Great action again. Still not seeing Stee about, so we will probably leave this one a little bit. I see that Mike is here, and Mike is playing Tato, who definitely was here, so we'll crack on with this one. A couple of changes. Let me get back to that last. Um, uh, it was Van der Sar, Neville, Sinoni, and Ronaldo, wasn't it? Van der Sar, Neville is going to be two. Number three is going to be Sinoni, and it's going to be Ronaldo number four. That's that sorted. Mike and I had a little bit of a I don't know, train of thought, logic kind of discussion about who was the last substitution, but it is Ronaldo or Red Rose. He's pushed Semak up front. Scally's back into central midfield, but is down there at the back. Sand comes in as well, and Salihamidzic, I believe, is also a change. So interesting to see what Stanley can do here against the reigning champions, the Badgers, the Booth Town Badgers, who I believe have change. I think Shimkoviak is coming on. I believe that's the only change. Remind myself, indeed, Stanisov for Shimkoviak. That'll do nicely, is what Tato said. So, Tigalko still out for about a week with a groin strain. Desperately needed back in action. Of course, Giggs still out forever, so no reason to bother looking at him. Giggs is a set piece taker. He's not there. Let's pick this one off. Bottom Stanley against. Oh, there's Steve. Did I miss you? Were you here the whole time, Steve? I've just gone blind. Apologies if that's the case. We kick this one off standing against Badgers. Meanwhile, I'll try and sort out my background here so I can see what I'm doing. 15 minutes in, no score yet. There comes Desai. He opens the scoring, first goal of the season for the Badgers. Now is the time for them to find their form if they're going to retain their title, I guess. Long shot, but you never know. It could still happen. But I was just about to say it looks as if it's been all Stanley since that opening goal, and it is Semak who is starting up top this time out, who has found the equalizer for them. And it looks as if they created the better chances just about. But having said that, Mendieta puts the ball in the back of the net for the second goal. Oh, and Mido has been sent off, and a bunch of stuff is happening that I'm not entirely aware of because I was too busy trying to talk over it. There's a you rolling back the years. Um, Mike, it's on you, I'm afraid. Mido has been sent off. I guess you could just roll. Or put Ronaldo in at AMC or something. I will let you decide. Um, Kato, of course, if you want to do anything, you can as well as a response. But let's see what Mike says to this one. Dakur on the bench. Dakur was still had 1 day with injury, I think. Game intent on screwing me this year. Semi back. Diagonal arrow, like so. Excellent. And Tato said, as is already, we'll roll till half time and you can do some more changes there if you want. Let's buy the speed back up on this one. No, no, no. Semak with. Aha! Apologies. Hope that didn't. Uh, I guess he will still be in a defensive position if he's back there. I get it now. Back with the diagonal arrow, not uh, diagonal backwards arrow. Aha, okay, okay, okay. Yeah, so my apologies. I completely misread that. Meanwhile, Romero made it 3-1 for the Badgers. So apologies for that, Mike. I misread that. I misread that message. So my apologies. It wasn't in defense and it was only for a couple of minutes. So you did concede a goal, but but hopefully that wasn't the main cause of it. Mike says as is. Tato says as is till 60. Um, let's roll and see if the home side. Sometimes the 10 men. Okay, not always. Sometimes the 10 men can actually fight back. It seems as if it's not going to be the case. Tato loves this formation. Indeed. Um, it's been going relatively well for you. Those are the Stanley stats. Salihamidzic is doing well with the assist. He's on a 7, Semak on an 8 with a goal as well. Rossini a little bit isolated up there on a 6, and Ugo Ehiok is on a 6 at the back. Vestervel's only on a 6 as well. Not brilliant. Fitness-wise, everyone is doing just fine, but indeed the game and partially the chairman intend on screwing you over the season. So apologies for that, Mike. If you would like to make any changes, those are your options. Every single player on an arrow to central SC except keeper. This is why not? I mean, oh, let's see. Like this, like this. This can go two ways. I'm I'm gonna hazard a guess, but who knows? Who knows? It's definitely Scally. Come on, what the fuck are you doing? It's beautiful. It's like an deformed octopus. Scally and Candela. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They are there. Oh, sorry. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Indeed, indeed. It's like some kind of deformed octopus, or like a walrus kind of thing. Is it the walrus or the deformed octopus? I'll let you all decide. Um, perfect. I mean, I love the symmetry, if nothing else. Uh, Tato, what's your response to to this, if anything? I mean, 4-1 down and a man sent off. Yeah, yeah. You can't blame the manager. Sometimes it's just you just have to like lose your mind a little bit. That's great. Tato, do you want to do something or all hours back? It's off for Neil Lennon. Ray out on for Amoruso. Where is Amoruso? There he is. More of a oh, that's a good shout. A Lovecraftian formation by Mike Savage. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Right, we go with this. We go with this and see what happens. I mean, something's gonna happen. If there are no more goals in this, I will be massively disappointed, to be honest. Um, that's gonna be hell for stamina with the boys running backwards and forwards like that. It's a Mendieta with a fifth for the Badgers. Um, Westerveld doing all of his work there. And there's Neil Lennon with the sixth. There's back with the seventh. Um, that has backfired slightly, I would say. Um, No love for Neil Lennon in the chat. Yes, indeed, indeed, indeed. Frustrating night for Stanley fans. At least they didn't have to travel for this. The reigning champions are back in business with in a seven-goal thriller, two assists and two goals for Mendieta, single assist for Neil Lennon. Um, Tactic works well with the great DMC. Just leave the rest to attack. Indeed, praise from Alf there. Um, Westerveld on a four. Everyone else didn't do too badly. League distribute investigation needed. Uh, we got to mix it up a little bit. We got to let managers do their thing. It's not the end of the season. So yeah, I mean, I understand it. We've had this discussion before, but there was never any sanctions against people who did anything that was kind of slightly dubious, such as playing Michael Stewart at AMC in a in a playoff deciding match and things like that. We never went to that stage, did we? Been a while since we've had a score to belt out on the video printer. Mr. Campbell, uh, considering your own contribution in terms of throwing games, I think glass houses. Anyway, entertaining it was, certainly was, and being 4-1 down and having a man sent off, who can blame Mike for doing something a little bit fun? Excellent. Funny game that Sancti against Exiles, Neil and Ross both here. In terms of Exiles, this is how they line up. I believe there are some changes. Pelushny maybe at AMC, a popular move. Um, and Schmutz as well as at DMC. Um, Last time out, indeed, it was this way around. Yeah, a couple of changes there. Massively agree. People have short memories. Memory short to remember by me and you. Well, Steve, I can't remember 5% of what you remember, so don't even go there. But fair enough. But fair enough. Let's have a look and see who needs a new number. Marquinhos needs a number 4. Club de Sancti Salutis have a slight problem with suspended players after last week. And a couple of unhappy ones as well in there, just for good measure. But a good win for them, 3-2 away. And of course, a couple of enforced changes, but overall, manager sticking with the current formation, and we will see how this goes as they have a home game against Exiles, who are, I want to say, high flying Exiles in fourth. Does that count as high flying? I guess it kind of does. Looking for a playoff spot. Uh, let's have a look and see how this goes. Good start for Exiles. They've opened the scoring as even quarterback, an unlikely goal scorer if I ever saw one. Um, Sancte are going to have to do it the hard way in this one as well. Uh, Hard 4-3-2 victory. The memory of that will be fresh in the mind of the players as they look to battle back here. Um, but they're up against uh, tough opposition in Exiles who have made a bit of a name for themselves as being a strong side with a little bit of an unconventional approach to things. But it's Raul who makes it 2-0. And they will have to find 3 goals against Sancte as they did last time out if they're going to get away with this one with all 3 points. Looks as if Exiles are, if not fully in control, then at least the majority of the time. A good pass completion rate for Sancte and headers one as well. Neil says, as is. Exiles looking good value. Indeed, they are. Meanwhile, Sancte, Jonathan Bronckhorst is on a 9. Everyone else is struggling a little bit fitness wise. All is good. So it's up to you, Ross, if you want to make any immediate changes or if you want to roll till 60. Neil is already confirmed. No change for him. Oh, I see the yawn. I see the yawn emoji out for the fishing attempts. Uh, well played, Ian. Well played. It was only me who took the bait this time round, as is standard. We roll to 60 and see if Ross can. Oh, that's a third for Exiles. And then the time jumped till 70 minutes. 3-0 down. any changes, now is the time to make them. Apologies, it was flew past the 60 mark. Pasolina assist, chef's kiss. I mean, you look at the attributes of this guy, and you're thinking, This is not going to go well." Um, love Raul in this league, don't you, Rockstar? Raul, the player who never really plays well, but whose team always plays better when he's playing, as legendary Bolton Phoenix, legendary now disgraced Bolton Phoenix manager. Uh, Ryan used to say when he won the first two titles. So that's what it looks like for Sancte. Meanwhile, over at Exiles, there are nines for Smooch, for Raul. Um, very disgraced. Very disgraced. Kalushi's on a six. That's the only thing that hasn't worked out for the manager so far. Plenty of yellows though. Plenty of yellows. Ross, if you want to make any changes, now is the time. You've got Montella and Owen. You can throw on, of course. Arrows, opportunity for arrows are plenty. Smertin for Owen. Montella for Argel. One at the back. Owen and Montella either side of Impensa. Centralized DMCs. Owen, Montella either side. Centralized DMCs. One at the back. Good. Exiles. Marquinhos for Kalushny and Guede for Vieri. We shall do that. Excellent. 22 minutes to play. Let's see. Let's see if Sancte can find a couple of goals here. Uh, Even if it's just a consolation, it would be nice for the manager to have something to take in his back pocket from this one. Montella drives in low, but only gets a corner out of it. Constanzo clears it. Always a bit of a disappointment. You've had such a great game last time out, 3-2 winners in a very, very tight and exciting game. Get a home game. You're thinking, could this be when we go on a bit of a roll? And then you run into a well-drilled Exiles machine who has now made it for Guede, scoring on his debut. Some shrewd transfer business there by the manager um, as he looked to push on in the playoffs. Totti picks up a yellow card. Plenty of away goals tonight. Oh yeah, we still have the slots game to come, and I think Alf's at home, so he probably doesn't want to hear that. Um, against Dudley is the last one. Three suspensions to very, very key players did absolutely nothing to help Sancte tonight, as Ross points out there. 4-0 or 4-1? Nicky Ferenko to Montella to Van Bronckhorst. Nope, Exiles gets it away. It stays 4-0. Um, it it wasn't as one-sided as it maybe looked, but Exiles had the better goalkeeper on the night. Costanzo with an 8, Raul man of the match, 2 assists for Valtellina. I mean, give me a break. He's not that bad, I guess. He's not that bad. That's harsh. 20 passing, half decent creativity, okay crossing, and the right hand column, as Rocks loves it, and fast as anything. Good agility as well. Meanwhile, Sancte just wasn't to be. Not the best performance from some of the replacements. Boateng on a 7 and picking up a yellow. He'll be looking to get his 3 key players back there. Uh, so, good gate win for Exiles. I believe we have the final game of the evening then. It's Slots. They take on Dudley Hill. Shevchenko comes back in. Congo experiment is dropped. And I think that's the only change from Steve from memory. Montero on for Woodgate as well was another one. So he is back too. Um, Hans Six is general. Indeed it was. So that's uh, it. Over at Spartak Slots, if I remember, Alf says unchanged. Indeed, it was. It's unchanged for the Slots. They had that 1-1 game with Exiles last time out. Was it a late equalizer? Let's remind ourselves. Indeed, it was. I'm sorry that it's like that sometimes or often for Slots. But apart from that, a decent performance from the away side. Just didn't really have enough shots on target. But let's see if they can do it a little bit better against Dudley here. Tough opposition, but in with a shout, of course. See, some players are glad aren't playing, but we still lose. Haha. Well, let's see if you do lose, Steve. We kick this one off, and it's a parade. There's this something. I'm not entirely sure what it was, but it's been looked as if Dudley has been kind of in control of this, fairly even coming up to the half-hour mark, and it's Shevchenko who has the ball at the back of the net, but that has been ruled out for offside. Um, keep trying though, keep trying. Fire from the wing. It looks as if the wingers are having a slight advantage over the narrow formation so far this evening. But it's Fiore opening the scoring. This one not ruled out for offside. Sloth take the lead on the half-hour mark. Two shots, both on target. Dudley just the one, although they had another one which hit the target but was ruled out for offside. Solid performance from the Sloths here. Eldar, as I think we agreed to call him. Hajimetovic, uh, not doing brilliantly. Didn't look like that on the comms. No, it didn't. It looked as if you had most of the ball and plenty of chances, D. I would completely agree. Fitness-wise, I believe you're okay, Alf. Ronnie is down on 80%. Maybe something to consider for 60 minutes, but so far so good for the Sloths boys. We'll have a look over. Do I shut up shop now? I don't know. You can give it a go. Dudley Hill, uh, that's not. It's not gone well. Let's be honest. Kieran Dyer was plenty involved, but apart from that, Shevchenko had that goal ruled out for offside. Apart from that, it's been not great. Some good tackling and stuff going on, but creatively, not brilliantly. Alf goes as is. Steve, would you like to make any changes at this point? Fitness-wise, you're doing wonderfully well. Your ratings are like this. Steve considering his options here. D'Alessandro on the bench, Hussein on the bench. Eric Addo with a long arrow. And Paredes is here somewhere for Alessandro. Swap with Van Bommel. Diagonal arrow to AMC, and that is all good stuff. We roll to 60 and see if Dudley can find a way back into this early in the second half, or if Al can hold on. Decided not to shut up shot quite yet. Not sure what that's involving, but we will probably have to. Oh, we will find out now because Ronnie Johnson has gone off with an injury. He was down to 80% fitness. Manager rested and left him on. That usually 80 should be enough to see people through till half time. Oh, sorry, till the end, but it hasn't worked out for them tonight. Here are the positional options. You obviously have Marco Rema, which would be a straight swap going into that role there. Rema for Ronnie, indeed. Anything else at this point? We will stop again at 60 because it is so early. Good. Steve, I'll run this till 60 and give you a chance to do stuff. And there is 60. Okay, well, never mind then. Van Bommel managed to pick up a yellow. We will start with the stats. It's still Sloths in control. It's 7-8. I think that's the best Sloths performance we've seen in a while, if not all season. It was Kessman who got the assist, by the way, in case anyone was wondering. Ronnie Johnson's down to 49 fitness, but he's probably going to be out for a couple of weeks with that. Yeah, everyone doing well. Everyone doing very, very, very well. The question is, can they hold on? There are no defensive options left on the bench. So, Alf, if you want to shut up shop, you're going to have to do it in without the without defensive substitutions necessarily. But those are your options if you would like to do something. Um, who's not fit? Ronnie is not fit. Ronnie Johnson is on 49%. Apart from that, 83 Fiora. He's the least fit of your players. Stefano Fiore on 83. Rosicky comes on for Fiore. Managing squeezing every last ounce of energy, or rather not. He's taking them off before they get to the last ounce of energy. Derek Collins on a 6, Hussein poised to come on. Surely we've got to see who signed here. As Dudley looking for an equaliser, looking to close that gap on Northern Burn, who lost earlier this evening. Otherwise, it's going to be very, very tight in that top six with the teams that have picked up points this evening. East Coast picked up one, Exiles three. It's all narrowing the gaps between the leaders at the top of the table. Who signed for Trezeguet? Long arrow on to AMC on Van Bommel. Right, that's an interesting one, but we'll see how that works out. Um, That's interesting. They're piling the pressure on Raymer, obviously, looking for that weak spot in the Sloth's defense, overloading that particular position, but it's not worked out for them. It's Eldar Hachimedemovic who gets a goal for Sloth. They go 2-0 up and they do not concede late. It's a miracle for Alf and the boys. No late goalitis for them this evening. A solid, solid win, 4-3, and most importantly, probably for the manager, the eights and the nines ex-Dudley man. Indeed, he has joined from Dudley only recently, where he was never given a chance. I will, I will say. So yeah, it always comes back to haunt you, doesn't it? When you have an ex-player is likely to score, wily old fox, etc. Alf will be delighted with those numbers. Alf will be absolutely delighted with those numbers. He's had good performances so far this season in some games and some not as well, but it's kind of been not great in the average ratings, but Stam, Makalele, everyone doing a superb job this evening. Meanwhile, over at Dudley, Shevchenko got that eight. David Collins again with a six is kind of slowed down a bit. Who D'Alessandro came on. Uh, Not quite panic stations for Steve. Of course, we'll have a look at the league table in just a second. But that was the last game of the evening. Let's have a look. Northern Burn still 2 points clear now of Exiles. Dudley Hill on 32, East Coast on 32 as well. Closely behind them are Haggis on 29, then it's Fulchester on 27, Foss Road on 27, Badgers on 26, Cloth 24, Vikings 23. Still very much in it down to 10th spot. Stanley struggling a little bit. Had they picked up 3 points, they probably could have been in it as well. Um, Down at the bottom, Los Santos now on 18 points, Stackington on 15. Not the kind of rollovers as they perhaps were earlier this season. Definitely looking as if they are growing in confidence, perhaps not able to reach the playoffs, I would suggest, but certainly plenty to play off all the way down to 10th, perhaps even 11th. Um, and in the top as well, of course, first, second, third. It's all still to play for. We look at the next fixtures that we have. It's Badgers against the Vikings in that race for the playoffs. Dudley Hill are looking uh, to get back to winning ways here. East Coast against Sloths, and huge game for Sloths. I should really be picking up 3 points there, but it's going to be difficult. Haggis will have a terrible time, I'm sure, against the Exiles in the battle north of the border. Foss Road will be hoping to get 3 points against Los Santos. The same for Fulchester against Stackington, and Northern Burn take on Stanley, who are in 11th. They desperately need those 3 points where if they are going to have a chance of reaching that fantastic playoff spot that it would be for Stanley if they could get there. But away to Northern Burn. Not the easiest one, not the easiest one for sure. New tactic incoming. I'll believe that when I see it. I think that's it. I think that's it. It's 10 to 11. I'm going to call it here. Thank you very much for watching. Packs will be out eventually. Take care, guys. It was a pleasure as always. Have a good night.